Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Astro 400. Today we're going to be talking all about Capricorns, their personality traits, and anything connected to this zodiac sign. I am your host, Ned from West Virginia, and tonight I'm going to be drinking lime green tea. Can you see that? Can you see that lime effect? It's actually really strong on camera. Lemon tea is very popular, but lime juice and tea, not so much. I will give you a hint though. If you ever want to go to a party and you don't know what to bring, limeade, not lemonade, limeade, because no one else will ever bring the same thing. Many people know about limeade, but just not as popular. Let's have a little bit of an introduction for the Capricorn sign. The date range for Capricorns is mostly December 22nd to January 18th, or astrology is always give or take a day. January 19th could be included, and it's not even 100% within the same time frame. And we're going to look at some of the personality traits associated with Capricorns. And I wanted to begin with something from Cosmopolitan because if you put like Capricorn personality into Google, there's some adjectives that Cosmopolitan has created that are right at the top of the Google search results. Capricorns are ambitious, persistent, realistic, sensitive, practical, disciplined. It says Muneh, Munneh. I don't know what that is. Muneh? Is that English? Now, there's a very interesting thing about this post here from Cosmopolitan because they have the adjectives to describe a Capricorn, and then they have these parentheses sharing the truth about what it actually means. They're ambitious, but they can be workaholics. They're persistent, but they can be relentless. They're sensitive, but they can be touchy. They're practical, but they can be dry. And they're disciplined, but they can be uptight. Now, I don't mean to come at this from a completely personal standpoint, but I'm not a Capricorn. I'm a Gemini. I'm in my 30s now. When I was in my 20s, though, I had an ex-girlfriend who was a Capricorn. That was when I actually experienced what people refer to as heartbreak. You see this thing here? Just like that. It's actually very normal. And I actually find that going through life with things like the internet, like Facebook, YouTube, and to a certain extent Twitter and Instagram, are also, well, they make you feel so normal. When you look at like posts on Facebook, everybody says that it's normal to have at least one heartbreak in your 20s, but that was the one that affected me the most, and as you can tell, she was a Capricorn. At the tail end of Capricorn, mind you. So I don't mean to come at it from somewhat of a personal filter, but there might be a little bit of bias here. However, if you are a Capricorn and you disagree with absolutely everything that I have said in this one, put your ideas in the comments section down below. Share anything. I want to read your messages. Capricorns are ambitious, persistent, realistic, sensitive, practical, disciplined, and Muneh. The only one that I would use to describe that ex-girlfriend that I was talking about would be Muneh. No, that's a joke. It would be practical because it's like practical and then the counterbalance is dry. She was very dry. But PrepScholar.com has also compiled a list of adjectives to describe Capricorns. Hardworking, ambitious, responsible, pessimistic, workaholics, and stubborn. Really seems like very similar things. But if we want to go to a source that I've used just a little bit of on these recordings, and I am going to have a video for every single zodiac sign, so now's a great time to like and subscribe. I'm going to go over to horoscope.com, and we can hear some more about the personality traits of a Capricorn. Capricorns are December 22nd to January 19th. Their element is the earth. Their polarity is negative. The planet is Saturn. They are the 10th house. Their color is dark blue. And their flower is the pansy. I wasn't laughing. Oh, the top love matches for a Capricorn would be Virgo. Already I'm getting some ideas because I have an episode out on Virgo that we can compare and contrast. Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac and belongs to those who are born between December 22nd and January 19th. They are smart, hardworking, and fully in control of their destiny. Every single Capricorn I have ever met has been in control of their destiny. I mean, it's decisive. Would we use that as a particular word to describe Capricorns? They know what they want. I mean, perhaps they are touching upon this when they're saying the word persistent, because Capricorns will decide what they want and then they will go for it. And because they're hardworking, or at the very least, they have the business plan. A Capricorn will have the business plan up here, like in the brain. Will they actually put it out? I'm not so convinced about that, but they know what they want, and they can be very determined, driven. That's not always hardworking, though, because someone who is very decisive and knows what they want can also do this in kind of a more passive or stand back approach. I talked once on these recordings about how the slowest person in a group can be the most manipulative because they're making you wait, they're making you respond to them. You have to do something in order to have them stay around. So the person who's always showing up 40 minutes late, they can be the most manipulative. And I learned about this from actually reading a book by Paul Watkins when he broke it down like that. It's a common manipulation tactic. So just because somebody knows what they want, it doesn't mean they are hardworking. In fact, that slow person is not hardworking, but they do know what they want and they are being persistent. Capricorns are natural rule followers. Capricorns thrive on order and love strict rules, hierarchies, and set ways of doing things. Can a Capricorn sign think outside the box? Yes, they can, but they prefer to have strict boundaries to constrain against. Free reign can make them feel paralyzed by choice. You know, if somebody is hardworking, then they're going to want this type of boundaries, these types of boundaries. Because we've mentioned the big five personality traits here on these recordings as well, and how that matches up to astrology. Openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. When I was first learning about the big five personality traits, I thought that conscientiousness meant more like conscious awareness. And I've often, in the context that people have used it, I think they often are talking more about being aware of your own mind, being mindful when they say conscientious. But in the things that I've read about the big five, it seems like it's talking more about orderly, structured living, that type of driven, hardworking focus, because everything that I have said so far in this recording is simply pointing out how Capricorns are conscientious. Jordan Peterson described them as a conscientious person as someone who is going to be dropped off in the forest with an axe and is just going to spend all day chopping down trees, making use of their abilities. But listen to what this post just said here. Can a Capricorn think outside the box? Yes, they can, but they prefer when they have strict boundaries to constrain against. Free reign can make them feel paralyzed by choice. Well, that's exactly what that is, the kind of person who has an axe in the forest and is just going to spend all day chopping down trees. I mean, that practically is paralysis. Maybe not the conventional definition of the word paralysis, but that person's just doing the same thing over and over again. A paralyzed person is still and they can't move, but this hardworking, persistent person is just going to be persistently chopping down trees. They're going to be doing the same thing over and over again because they don't know what to do. So a hardworking person can definitely be very, very strong under structured conditions, but that means that they're going to be decisive. What do I want to do? I want to chop down trees in the forest. And then, like, when do I want to do it? Now. They know what they want to do. But what's the ambition in it all? And that's a big thing that I've noticed from Capricorns that I've known personally. What exactly is the reason why they're doing all of these things? Oh, they know what they want to do. They have a direction. But they sometimes can't answer what it's all for. Capricorns believe presentation is everything, and their homes are usually Insta-worthy. That hyphen is not there by mistake. A Capricorn is overly focused on what things look like instead of how things feel, which would cause them to feel stifled and unhappy. Well, that just sounds a little bit sociopathic, to be honest, but I don't think all Capricorns are sociopathic, but it's all about the glib, superficial charm and so on. A Capricorn needs to find a firm sense of self beyond how others perceive them and recognize that racking up achievements is only one small part of their personality. Aha, now we're getting somewhere. External validation. I absolutely agree that Capricorns are very passionate about external validation. Capricorn signs are loyal friends, and have a funny and sly sense of humor when you get to know them. Mm. It is fun drawing them out of their shells. In love, Capricorn is a true partner who is laser focused on helping their partner find success and happiness. That's not true. A Capricorn will dive into a relationship like a job and believes that hard work can make a bond as strong as possible. Definitely not true. While sometimes a romantic conversation may veer toward feeling a bit like a board meeting, especially with actions and improvement plans, but if you roll with it, they will have a point. The Capricorn motto is, I can succeed at anything I put my mind to. I mean, that's just saying driven, persistent. Yeah, okay. We've been all there, but they're almost like they're going to try and become the director of your life. And I haven't really experienced that firsthand. I mean, maybe there are some Capricorns out there who would agree with that, people who actually are under that star sign. But I'm really tempted to notice that I would have to take back one thing that I said. Okay, not all Capricorns, but I've definitely known at least one who had that type of sense of humor thing they were talking about. And it was actually a boss that I had last year, and her birthday was at the very beginning of Capricorn. And I just noticed when I first started working there, like, she's funny. Not just like she makes some comment that makes you laugh a little bit more, like, like that type of laugh. No, I mean, like, she would actually say things that were genuinely humorous, that were kind of on par with some things that a stand-up comedian would put out. But she had been there for many years. She's the boss, and I'm not, so she had already come out of her shell, so to speak. And some people are just a little bit more gregarious and outgoing, and they want to make people laugh, and so on. But I'm going to go over to a different website called ganeshaspeaks.com. I've used it on at least one of these recordings as well, so please feel free to visit all of the Astro Psych 400 episodes so you can hear all about the zodiac star signs. Their description of Capricorn traits, ganeshaspeaks.com. Ambitious and hardworking, a guy born under the Capricorn sign is a man of career, conscientiousness. People having this sign would be the most powerful ones. They are very resourceful. Delve into the Capricorn's positive and negative traits to discover more about them. Also know who they are astrologically compatible with and the best way to attract love. I have to throw this in now because they're talking about attracting love. Remember in that last article when it said Capricorns should be partnered with Virgos? In the Virgo episode, I was talking a lot about this. A Virgo can be a little bit of a troublemaker, can push the boundaries, but not get caught, not get fired. Very socially aware of what's going on. So you have a hardworking person, and you have someone who is a little bit on the wild side, but not too much to cause any trouble. Oh, yes. This is why I mean, if you're just looking for some horrible disagreements, this is not the place. I think that that would be a very good combination for a husband and wife or a partner and partner to have with someone who is very persistent, maybe even someone who's very detail oriented and decisive, but then they have someone who is going to bring a little bit of fun and well mannered frivolity to their life. But because they're going to be kind of in balance with one another, they aren't going to explode into trouble and chaos. Capricorns are loyal. Capricorns are hardworking. They are team players. Wow, that's very interesting. Um, Out of the ones that I've known in life, I guess some I've met in group settings, like I said, having a boss. But when I think about the other people that I've known who have the sign of Capricorn, most of them were kind of arranged individually, or like, I only knew them in a one-on-one basis, so I can't really relate too much about that. They are ambitious. They are classy. I don't know about classy. Out of the people that I've known personally who are Capricorns, It wasn't so much that they are classy, but they want you to think that they're classy. That's like a facade. That's like an image. It's a veneer. It's like a cover that they're putting on. Oh yes, I'm a classy individual. No, I'm just gonna go over here and do my own thing, and I'm gonna be really busy next year, so don't talk to me. That kind of thing. Capricorns are overly serious. I think that goes mostly in line with what I just said there. My feeble imitation of a Capricorn. Capricorns are overly serious and sober individuals, having a strong sense of built-in responsibility to protect and provide for others. Reserved personality of Capricorn and serious demeanor can make them appear standoffish, aloof, good word, aloof, and rigid to the point of not being fun. That must happen at the tail end of Capricorn, not the beginning. Critical. Capricorns are often overly critical to others. That is true. They expect others to live by their rules, which might put pressure on others. Melancholy. There could be times when the Capricorns might seem melancholy. Maybe they mean melancholic and also depressed. They have a tendency to become melancholic due to which they want someone who can make them happy as well. That almost sounds like they're kind of like reaching out for people, and maybe if you get to know them well enough, like on a very deep level, but on the surface, I don't think Capricorns are like that. Unforgiving. One of the unknown traits of Capricorns is their unforgiving nature. If it's an unknown trait, how did you know about it? They're notoriously unforgiving when it comes to perceiving others as lacking in ambition or diligence. No matter what your star sign is, whether you're a Capricorn or not, if somebody is going to be hardworking, listen to this, lacking in ambition and diligence so they become unforgiving, or I'll read the exact line. They are notoriously unforgiving when it comes to perceiving others as lacking in ambition and diligence. It really is quite shocking when you just experience this firsthand in life. Someone who is very hardworking will get mad at you for not being hardworking. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. That doesn't affect you. Did I ever tell you to stop being hardworking? I'm choosing to do this my way, or better yet, if I'm not hardworking, that doesn't affect you. And I think that you're just going to be experiencing this in life. We are going to be experiencing this in life, that when someone is very hardworking, they're going to think that everybody should be hardworking like me. And think about what the Ganesha just said about how Capricorns are going to be very judgmental and critical of people who are not acting in that way. Suspicious. Capricorns are very suspicious when things are too easy, and they hate when things are going too well. Well, that's just conscientiousness. I mean, the kind of person that's going to chop down trees in the forest all day, yeah, they're going to hate when things are going too well because they want to put that powerful energy into a certain place. It's almost like all these trees have been cut down. I better do something. I'm going to build a cabin. But wait, do I build a cabin? I don't know if I'm supposed to build a cabin. Structured versus unstructured decision making. They can be decisive. It's just that unstructured thing complicates it. The unstructured area makes confusion. If you know you're supposed to chop down trees, you'll probably just be like, oh, well, I could build a cabin. No, I won't. I'm just going to keep chopping down trees because that allows you to be conscientious and allows you to have that structured, orderly thinking. But you're following the game plan until you have a different one. Capricorn love and relationships. There is a lot more to this down-to-earth sign, Capricorn, than meets the eye. Capricorn in love always seeks for quality, long-term relationships. No, sirree, Bob. That's not true. A Capricorn relationship is based on open communication and personal ambitions because they wish to keep their individuality within their love life. That is true. Firsthand, I will tell you. I told you I had that breakup with that ex-girlfriend who was a Capricorn. And then when you're finally sitting around, maybe like a month later, and then you're just like, what happened? You could almost pull these exact words out of her mouth when she's saying, well, I wish to keep my individuality within my love life. She more or less said something of that exact line. It's really quite shocking. Definitely not in that academic speak, but was much more casual. But that is just one person. We always have to remember we can see that there are going to be millions, if not billions, of people presently throughout history who are going to be Capricorn, so can't judge everyone just by one person. Capricorn in a relationship is an extremely loyal person, and they are devoted to desire as they build a truly long-standing future for both of them and their loved ones. The moment Capricorn sets eyes on that special someone, they will envision the perfect relationship. They are like an iceberg that will surprise you with their depth and rich experience in life once they open up to you. Now, this stuff I can relate to because I didn't even quite get to that level of opening up with that person I was just talking about, but I knew that there was something there. Like when someone tells you that stuff, like I had a bad experience, and you're like, what happened? They're like, I'm not going to tell you right now. Something like that to that effect. So you know that there is depth. And there are reasons why they behave the way they are, not arbitrary. So, Capricorn family and friends. Capricorn makes up a very special part of society. They will never give up on their family and loved ones. Not just because they have some kind of relationship with you, not with you, but somebody else, but because they really care about you. I'm going to go on to a different article because this one's starting to piss me off. And there's actually a section here, though, that has just been posted about Capricorn bad traits, and that's just what came up next. And it is from Z News, another site that I have not used before. I always like to try and find new things that we can talk about here. And this one says, known to be determined as well and practical, Capricorns are one of the most hardworking zodiac signs. And I think that just goes in line with everything that we have shared up to this point. Because with Capricorns, conscientiousness, hardworking, very aware of schedules and that this has to be done, decisive, driven, all of that. Each sign has its own characteristics, both negative and positive. Let's have a look at some of the negative traits of Capricorn. Known to be determined as well as practical, Capricorns are one of the most hard-working zodiac signs. They are ambitious as well as helpful towards others, and they will always ensure that they give their best to any task that is assigned to them. That's all about persistence and perseverance. However, they can also be the most impulsive of the zodiac signs. Here are some negative traits of Capricorn. Procrastinating, that comes up there? What are you talking about? I mean, okay, the Capricorns that come to mind immediately, it really is quite weird, but I'm suddenly getting all of these flashbacks about how I was complaining about them procrastinating. The ones that I've known personally, and it's more than one person, they did have a tendency to do that. They always wanted to keep up the veneer of, oh, I'm a hardworking individual. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Your screen's blank, by the way. That sort of stuff. But stubborn. Stubborn is the next one here. If you're hardworking and driven, yeah, you're going to be stubborn. Some people can be childish, bratty, I don't like to be told what to do. Other people are going to be stubborn in a different way where they simply have an ambition. They're ambitious. Impulsive. How are you going to be conscientious and impulsive? Let's see. When they want something, they want it right now. A Capricorn will never sit around and wait for something, even if they are required to do so. They can also be impulsive in almost all areas of life and regret their actions later. I'm not going to lie to you guys, when I saw this thing, Z News, and I pulled it up, I thought that it was going to be absolute bunk, like nonsense, hogwash, baloney. But I can kind of see where they're coming from. Like when I read off that first one from Cosmopolitan about these are the pro traits and then these are the kind of counterbalance other side of the coin traits for this particular star sign. I can see where they're coming from. If you're going to be hardworking, if you're going to be so driven and ambitious, then you might be impulsive because I don't know if you ever heard that expression. When you want to play it safe, go to law school. When you want to take risks, go to business school. I learned about it from a guy who's on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I don't remember his name, but he became somewhat of a viral sensation in the YouTube era because he was the guy who risked $500,000 to answer a question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that he did not know. And it was back in the day when if you get the $500,000 question wrong, you drop down to $32,000. I don't know any math, so I'm going to guess that he lost $468,000, if that's right. And he was a risk taker, even though he said he went to law school, but he should have gone to business school. Business people take risks. Business people can be impulsive. And even when somebody like me, who is not a Capricorn, has tried to do anything in the business world, oh, yes, there are risks that you have to take. And that can be impulsive, but I mean, sometimes it works out in your favor, sometimes it does not. And if someone is driven, ambitious, and even just focused on improving something, knowing what you want and going for it, well, the fact that you're going for it at all can come from an impulsive thing. Not always. Sometimes we know exactly what we want, and we're very thoughtful about it. Like the people who are like, I'm about to graduate college. Now I'm going to go to graduate school, and I'm going to do my applications, and it's going to be over like a 1 year waiting period to find out where you're going. I wouldn't call that impulsive. Impulsive would be more like, I'm getting my business license right now, and I'm going to work 72 hours a day, 195 hours a week, and such. But anyway, Capricorns can be brutal. If you manage to anger a Capricorn and really push their limits, brace yourselves for the impact. When angered, this zodiac sign can be quite brutal and will cut you down with their words. So better watch out. Better not cry. No, it actually says, so better watch out before you argue with them! Exclamation point! Capricorns are emotionally cold. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, there's some of that on there. Capricorns are loving people and they love their families and friends, which mean a lot to them. However, they're also highly practical and will never let emotions govern their decisions. This is the reason why this zodiac sign can sometimes come across as emotionally cold. Now, I don't know this person's star sign, but I was recently listening to a podcast, and the guy on that show was talking about how he had a sister who was in line for a promotion. She was actually set to become the CEO of a company. I don't know which one, he didn't say. But their mother got sick, so she came home and she spent some time with the family and decided to turn down the promotion or to turn down the opportunity to become the CEO. Instead, she wanted to spend some time with the family. But he said, though, throughout her entire life, she was always this ball of logic and reason. Excuse me if I misspoke. And up until that point, when like she always just did the logical thing or whatever would lead to more pluses than minuses, and she was not very empathetic. And I believe that the way that this section here at Z News is talking about Capricorns really fits that model. And I'm quite curious to know now, is this person that I heard about on a podcast whose name I don't even know a Capricorn or not? Because that sounds like what he was describing his sister as up until that point when she began to care for their mother when she was sick. For example, let's just read that one more time. They are also highly practical and will never let emotions govern their decisions. This is the reason why this zodiac sign can sometimes come across as emotionally cold. That's it, though. It's like, because she's always doing the logical thing, she came across as very cold. It's like she's not making the emotional decisions. It's just whatever's based on logic. But I want to emphasize again that I don't necessarily know her star sign 100%. I'm actually somewhat impressed with this article from Z News because I thought I was really going to take a disliking to it. But, I mean, they're more or less just giving counterbalance or saying that it's kind of like yin and yang. If there is an up, there is a down, and so on. Going on to a new website. All these new websites say, isn't that wonderful? This is called Pink Villa. I've never heard of this one before. Capricorn season is from December 22nd to January 19th, and this star sign belongs to the earth element. It is a feminine zodiac sign, and the people of this sign are highly practical, analytical, grounded, and hardworking. Practical and analytical are very much in line with what I was just talking about how that can come across as emotionally cold. If something breaks, oh no, my bed is broken, so let's fix it. Oh no, I lost my money. Go earn some more. It's like just trying to solve the problem without that really bonding, empathetic element. This sign is often considered the most practical and career oriented, but everyone has a bad side about them. Capricorns will try to make everything perfect. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, Capricorns have a habit of making everything perfect, and that's why they always plan everything but often they will fail to execute the plan. Well, obviously, I mean, perfection, that's a hard thing to achieve, right? But I am a believer. As someone who is not a Capricorn, I'm a Gemini. But I believe that you're actually meant to strive toward perfection. Whether you get there or not, you have to try. Because if you don't, then you're just not trying. And I learned about that from something on the internet. But often they will fail to execute the plan, and that's why they end up making everything messed up. That's what it says. That's why they end up making everything messed up. Sorry, Capricorns. So they should sometimes not think about making everything perfect and just go with the flow. And I'm not a go with the flow kind of person. I don't like that stuff. Capricorns are stubborn, furious, and pessimistic. Oh, I said the word pessimistic at the beginning of one of this episode, and that one of those adjectives that I said at the beginning is what I meant to say. It would be tough for a Capricorn to see the positive side of anything. They will find a negative side to something. Sometimes they should change their pessimistic mind, but they won't because they're stubborn. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Capricorns are detached. This one I've experienced wholeheartedly. Capricorns are uneasy. They are people who cannot gel easily with others and need a lot of time for that. But once they get friendly, it would be nice to get along with them. But the initial phase is tough for them. Capricorns are workaholics. We talked a lot about that. Oh, but we have some comments here. Getting detached thing was really accurate. Hey, yeah, that's the one that I think was the most accurate. And there's another comment. All of these are anonymous, by the way. To some extent, I do not agree with this walk away thing. Capricorns find it difficult to be detached. Oh, really? That's the one that I agreed with the most. And the next one says, you now? Oh, it must mean you know that was the best what you did, so I can move on with my life, so I can stop crying for someone that never cared. I live myself, who I am, and I will always be. Replace them with someone strong. I am at peace. I don't know if that person is a Capricorn or if a Capricorn left them. And I wonder why everything stated here absolutely fits in. And this one says, I'm a Capricorn. As we grow older, we also do change. We are drawn down to earth. Very good, very spiritual of you. Well, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Astro Psych 400. And one more time, you can hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family, anybody who would find any interest in astrology at all, and especially the people who are skeptical of this stuff, who aren't the biggest believers. I think they might like the episodes even more. Now, to also remind you guys that I am the host of Black Box Online Radio. It's another YouTube channel here. It is true crime oriented, mostly talking about serial killers, the Zodiac Killer, other mysteries, and I would invite you to listen to that one as well. Black Box Online Radio is also available for free downloads at Launchpad One, so a lot to check out on that channel and some of the affiliate sites. If you disagree with everything that I've said and read in this episode, tell me why in the comments section below. I would love to read your messages. And please look out for some more videos here. I'm going to do one for all 12 of the zodiac signs. I'll talk to you guys next time.